We are joined by UTEP professor and local government watchdog, I would say. Is that fair, Max?
Yeah.
You need to. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Do you see a little switch over there?
Switch. There.
How's that?
Yeah, that's much better.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Most cities of any size have people who take, citizens who take an interest in local governance and any kind of misdeeds that might be going on. You have been doing that pretty much since you've been in El Paso.
I've been at it a while.
First with the downtown development.
I've got a group called El Paso Taxpayer Revolt.
Okay.
We've got a Facebook page. We've got a web page. I don't wear my UTEP hat, though. Totally separate from my job.
From your job.
Very important to
as a
point that out.
professor.
Yeah, I'm just exercising my First Amendment rights as a taxpayer and free citizen.
Okay. So I saw this come across, and it struck me because we had Agent Harper from the FBI who put out this statement. She was in last week, and she was talking about the work that the El Paso field office does in public corruption cases, but of course could not talk about any specifics.
Right.
So just let me read the statement that got this started. Concerning Gasgate, the gas scandal, the city council, what would you call it?
I like El Diario de El Paso. They say Gasolina Gate.
Gasolina Gate. All right, we'll go with that one. Statement from the Public Affairs Office of the FBI says the El Paso Field Office conducted a thorough investigation and presented the comprehensive results and investigative findings to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District for their careful review. Now, there's nothing about their findings. It doesn't say anything about recommendations in that statement. So if it goes to the Western District Attorney's Office, that's U.S. Attorney Jaime Esparza, who is the district attorney for over 30 years in El Paso.
That's right.
Okay, so the gas card scandal came about because of an internal audit. Maybe you want to pick, and the audit was presented in 23, but it covered the calendar year of 2022.
Correct. City Auditor Edmundo Calderon conducted a thorough audit of the city gas cards, and it was presented to FOAC, which is the Financial Oversight Advisory Committee, chaired by Rep. Kennedy. And it was aired publicly, and that led to a media frenzy. People realized that something was amiss when they saw how much gas was being used by a current member of City Council and a former member of City Council.
Okay.
And it only regarded the year 2022, and the findings were pretty incredible.
Now, did the city's auditor point this out and say, hey, you might want to take note, use a yellow highlighter, or this is just something that members of the press and people like yourself noticed?
No, he put up a formal report that was very clear and bullet pointed and very detailed. So something like 10 pages. He put it up for FOAC, and then it went before City Council, and it was put up again for discussion.
The two representatives in question, former Representative Claudia Rodriguez and current Representative Cassandra Hernandez, the report said that those two council members purchased thousands of more in gas using their city-issued gas cards.
Right. In the case of Hernandez, the report says that in 2022, she spent $6,691 on 1,944 gallons, representing 35% of all gas use by the mayor and city council in that 1 year.
All right, refresh my memory. How many city council members do we have at one time?
Mayor and 8 reps, so nine people.
So she was responsible for 35% out of 9 individuals who had the same gas card.
And not only that, she purchased fuel 23 times on consecutive days, and in one instance, 3 days in a row. And she even purchased gas at least once while she was in city council session. Somebody was using her card.
Right. Okay, so, I'll come right out. I'm not making an accusation, but it seems hard to believe that this card wasn't being used by other people that this card wasn't just being used by the representatives, that maybe they were like, hey, you got to fill up and you're my, whatever. Use my card.
Well, KVIA did outstanding work, right? Eric Elkin, Leslie Engel, and they actually put up on their news reports video footage of Hernandez's husband putting gasoline into his car using his wife's card.
Not her car.
His car. Another car.
Well, their car.
Right.
Maybe that's the way they'd present it. Well, it's our car, and I put it in there because my wife, the city council representative, is going to use the car the next day.
Yeah. And
Devil's advocate here type of stuff. That's a possibility. Why were the expenditures so out of whack?
Well, I mean, you're supposed to use the gas for city business, right? For your regular city council duties. And anybody looking at that figure would say, wow, that's nuts. And in fact, the report concluded that Hernandez's gas card was used to fuel, quote unquote, 2 or more vehicles. And by the way, in 2023, a separate report indicated that in the first 4 months of 2023, she used 40% of all gas of the mayor and city council, purchasing 1,584 gallons.
Okay, so a couple of things. There are other city employees, not council members, who also have gas cards, but they have some pretty clear rules on the use of that. It has to be for official city business, and if I'm not mistaken, it has to be a city-owned vehicle that the gas card is used. That's generally the case with other people who are city employees that have a gas card.
Yeah, but in the case of mayor and city council, you can use the gas card for your personal vehicle, but it has to be for official business.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, Buzz, look, what's the big deal? It's only a few $1,000s. She paid it back. She actually cut a check for $6,700 to cover her 2022 usage. Never mind about the other years, but for that 1 year, she made the taxpayers whole. But the question is...
But we only know the 1 year because that's the 1 year that was audited by the city's auditor.
And the first 4 months of 2023.
Okay.
But the thing is this, if you're putting your hand in the cookie jar for a few thousand here and a few thousand there, how are you managing our $1.3 billion city budget? That's the question. And this is a person who is running for mayor.
Cassandra Hernandez.
Exactly. And Claudia Lizette Rodriguez is a candidate for County Commissioner Precinct 1. So they're both political candidates, if you can imagine that. And they've both been reprimanded by the City Ethics Commission.
That audit that came out in 2023 also called out what they termed deficiencies in the city's policy regarding gas cards. And I think the deficiency they're talking about is there weren't any rules about how much you could use it. Were there any rules about whether you could fill up somebody else's car or loan your gas card out? The police department, the El Paso Police Department investigation concluded that no policies were broken because there were no policies regarding this to break. Do you agree with that?
Well, as a citizen, I know what I know.
Well, there's unethical and then there's illegal.
Yeah. So under the city rules, there might be a gray area here and there. But under state law, that's another matter. We'll get to that. But maybe we should read to your listeners the letter of reprimand so that people understand exactly what the City Ethics Commission said.
I think we got to do a break, but if you don't mind hanging out, when we come back, you'll read the reprimand, and this was the reprimand to both representatives, the former representative and the current representative.
They were reprimanded sepaline one in July and one more recently.
Okay, and they were reprimanded by?
The City Ethics Review Commission, which is a nine-member commission of citizens.
Who makes up that? I mean, you don't have to give me names and addresses, but what kind of people are on the Ethics Commission?
Probably about half of them are attorneys and just citizens who are appointed by the mayor and city council. The mayor and city council, the 9 of them, appoint the 9 members of the City Ethics Review Commission.
Now, do they get gas cards?
No, no. They are charged with being absolutely objective, and they've been outstanding through this process.
Okay. All right, so we're going to come back and hear what the official reprimands, what the wording of that was, Max Grossman, and Gasolina Gate is what we're talking about today. More coming up right after this.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10.
Now's the time to start your journey to success.
At Western Tech, we don't just teach. We ignite your curiosity and prepare you for the business world of tomorrow. Enroll now and start working towards your bachelor's or master's in business. You're not just a student here, you're part of a community, a 50-year legacy. With hands-on learning and experienced instructors, the future is yours to shape. Visit westerntech.edu and enroll today. Don't give up. Rise up at Western Tech. College for the real world.
Spectrum Business is made to work like your small business. Made to do it all with fast, ultra-reliable internet, phone, and mobile services. And made to work with a small business budget. Get 300 megabit per second business internet for just $39.99 a month for 1 year with select bundles. Plus, get an unlimited mobile line for free. Visit spectrum.com/work to lock in this deal now. Learn more at spectrum.com/work. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Being an American Express Platinum Card member with Global Dining Access by Resi helped you score tickets to quite the dining experience. One bite and you're speechless. That's the powerful backing of American Express. See how to elevate your dining experiences at americanexpress.com/with-Amex. Terms apply.
Love to eat out? Love to save money? Discover Seize the Deal and enjoy $50 dining experiences for just $25. Seize the deal. While they last, experience legendary favorites like Avila's Mexican Food, The Magic Bistro, G&R's, and Eloise. Plus new favorites like the Great Italian Ristorante and St. Augustine Artisan Pizza. $50 dining experiences for only $25. Learn more on our station's website and mobile app. And remember, a new dining deal starts this Friday, 10 a.m. from Crawdaddy's, El Paso's best Cajun food. Spice up your night with Crawdaddy's. Punch up your lunch with Crawdaddy's. Crawdaddy's, El Paso's best Cajun food. Featuring chicken and shrimp pasta, blackened chicken, blackened catfish, jambalaya, red beans and rice, gumbo, sandwiches, fried Cajun pickles, crawfish, and more. Open till 11 a.m. Closes 2 a.m. Crawdaddy's, 212 Cincinnati, El Paso's best Cajun food. Learn more at crawdaddies-ep.com.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard. His ear said, "Maraca, senor," but his nose said, "Hey, freshest scent ever." Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, "Sir, your scent maracas smell amazing." You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads, way fresher than detergent alone.
Obtén un nuevo comienzo al transferir tus saldos de tarjetas de crédito con interés alto a una tarjeta de crédito GECU Empowerment. Aprovecha de una baja tasa introductoria en transferencias de saldos, además sin cuotas anuales o escondidas. Solicita hoy en gecu.com. Se requiere elegibilidad de membresía. Sujeta a requisitos de crédito y aprobación. Aplican otras condiciones. Obtén más detalles de la promoción y ve los términos completos en gecu.com.
Everyone wants affordable, reliable auto insurance, but finding it? Not so easy. Unless you go to Freeway Insurance. Freeway has great low rates for as low as 99 cents a day. Say goodbye to overpriced carriers and start saving today. With hundreds of options to choose from, Freeway could have you insured and saving in minutes. Freeway is available online, by phone, or in person. Tap the link below or go to freeway.com for your free savings quote. Freeway. Driving savings. Some restrictions and fees may apply. Quoted price for liability premium only.
869-TERM, 866-509-TERM.
Originating in El Paso, for El Paso, the Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
More with Max Grossman, who is talking about the FBI announcing their conclusion of their investigation into Gasolina Gate. But Joanna notified me that there's traffic. Not too surprising because it rained overnight and the roads are slick. So let's check that out. Here is Joanna Barber to let us know what the problems are out on the roads today. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning. A crash early this morning has eastbound lanes at Spur 601 at Chaffee Road closed down. TxDOT says Spur 601 east at Chaffee Road at the Fred Wilson exit 21 are closed, and the clearing time is until further notice. So if that route is in your direction this morning, make sure you find an alternate route and give yourself plenty of drive time this morning as roads are still slick.
It looks like we're out of the rain, but the roads are still going to be slick, and it's going to be overcast today. All right, so Max Grossman is here, and we're talking about we were going to hear the reprimand from the Ethics Commission.
Right. So
okay. So when was this issued?
The city's Ethics Commission presented a letter of reprimand to Representative Cassandra Hernandez in July 2023.
Okay.
And the letter says, very short, quote, "The evidence presented to the Ethics Commission showed by clear and convincing evidence that you did use your position as a city representative to secure unwarranted privileges for yourself, relatives, or others. Moreover, the evidence showed that you did use the fuel card for your personal benefit and the benefit of others, and therefore there was an intentional misuse of the city-issued fuel card. A letter of reprimand may be issued when the Ethics Review Commission finds that a violation of the Ethics Code has occurred and also finds that the violation was intentional or through disregard of the Ethics Code," unquote.
Okay.
So that's the reprimand.
What else comes along with that reprimand? That's just it?
Well, it's a pretty strongly worded statement. Essentially says that she was using gas.
You messed up. Don't do it again. Is what it sounds like to me.
Exactly. And the city council could potentially have moved to remove her from office. They did not take that step. They just stuck with the reprimand, which is a very strong thing. Okay. And Claudia Lizette Rodriguez also received a letter of reprimand, very similar.
Did both of these, the former representative, did they both reimburse after this audit came out?
Only Hernandez reimbursed the city for 2022 only.
All right.
She did not reimburse the city for 2023, and we don't even know about previous years. Whereas Claudia Lizette Rodriguez put out this crazy Instagram video and held up a check and said, if anybody can find wrongdoing, I'm going to give this check to the city for my gas use in 2022. Well, she was reprimanded, and she never produced the check, so she didn't follow through.
Okay.
And instead, she's running for political office.
What is she running for?
County Precinct 1. So you've got the
county commissioner?
County Commissioner Precinct 1. Exactly.
So you've got both of the people at the center of this running for elected office presently.
You can't make this up.
Yeah, I'm calling to comment on this Cassandra gas thievery. Let's not beat around the bush. What she did was criminal. Even if she paid it back, it's like me going into a bank and robbing it.
I have to just interject there. I don't agree that it rises to the level of criminality. That it will be for others to decide.
And then later on, going back to the bank and saying, "Here's your money back." Sorry, still a crime, and she needs to be in prison for it. Mm-hmm. Secondly, we need to start really looking at these candidates that are running for office and look at whether they're honorable and trustworthy. Cassandra definitely doesn't fit that bill. So we need more honest candidates to now actually be recognized. One good guy that I'm tracking is Ryan Woodcraft, running for County Commissioner Precinct 1. I think he's very trustworthy, fully aware of the situation, and has pretty much promised to look into these kinds of things and support them before they even become issues. Anyway,
I lost the call there. That's the nature of cell phone calls sometimes. Now, who was the candidate for the commissioner's court that he mentioned?
Well, you've got several Democrats. The Republican is Claudia Lizette Rodriguez, and he was talking about Ryan Woodcraft, who's the Libertarian candidate running for County Precinct 1 on a platform of transparency and fiscal restraint. But, to your caller's point, was there criminal behavior? Let's be clear. The city attorney announced that there was an outside investigation, and the implication was the FBI. And finally, KVIA confirmed that not only did the FBI investigate, but they completed the investigation and they referred the case to the U.S. Attorney of the Western District of Texas, which is based in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And so
but the U.S. Attorney is Jaime Esparza.
He's Jaime Esparza.
Do we know what his disposition on this matter is? Do we have any idea?
No, he's not going to say anything publicly because it's an open case. But let me just cite state law, 39.02, titled Abuse of Official Capacity.
That's my favorite one, by the way.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which stipulates that misuse of government property, services, or any other thing of value belonging to the government in the amount of $2,500 or more is a state jail felony. So if I were being investigated, I wouldn't worry so much about these letters of reprimand. I'd be looking at state law. That's what would scare me.
I just want to say, and this was brought up in our fan chat, that we should be thankful that the gas crisis is the worst scandal that city council has to deal with, at least. At least nobody's doing anything inappropriate with other people.
There are plenty of local scandals that are going on with inappropriate behavior by people in positions of authority. You know, I don't want to...
We're just not covering those today.
Well, not today. I mean, you could go into some very serious allegations against some people in the El Paso police force. I mean, I guess every city in every state, in every country even, probably has... people who are abusive of power.
Right.
But why would the city council not set some parameters, though? Because when I hear, Cassandra Hernandez say, well, I didn't break any rules. I technically she's right. If it didn't spell out there, here's how you can use this card, here's how you can't use this card, here's the monthly cap. Why wouldn't the city council include that?
And to the average citizen, I'm not sure how much they care, right? If I'm going to say, I'm the citizen, why should I care about this?
And the reason is very simple. If a city council representative is misallocating resources for her personal benefit, how is she managing our $1.3 billion budget? Now, to be clear, this is a person who raised our property tax 6 times and who voted to issue more than $500 million in non-voter approved debt, which is a Texas record.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, she didn't do this single-handedly, though.
Well, she was one of the primary proponents of those votes, and people are looking at that as well. I mean, it's a separate matter, but as a libertarian myself, very unhappy with her record. But then this happens, and I'm thinking to myself, well, $1.3 billion budget, what's she doing there that I'm not aware of? That's what the voters should be thinking when they look at this reprimand.
Well, maybe nothing. We're talking about using a gas card that they said, hey, you're a city council representative, free gas, no strings attached.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sweet deal.
It does sound like a sweet deal.
How you behave when nobody's looking is the measure of a politician.
Can I share with you a personal anecdote?
Go for it.
That I find very interesting. So a few years back,
full of gas.
And I'm not going to mention any names, but this is a few years back when nobody that's on the show now is on the show except me. And we did a live show. It was our big holiday show. We did it from a local restaurant. And they came to us and said, look, we could either pay, there's a talent fee. We could either pay you the talent fee or you can eat free at our restaurant for the entire year. And they didn't put any restrictions.
Are you talking about Duke and Fuddruckers?
I don't want to mention exactly what I'm talking about, but I was trying so carefully. So out of the members of the show, 4 of us, used it a few times here and there. We probably didn't come out ahead of what we would have if we
says all you can eat.
We had one member of the show who was at Fuddruckers every day, sometimes for lunch and dinner. Sometimes he would just call in an order and pick it up. And this is an honest guy. This member of the show. It was just that his idea was, they said I could eat here free anytime I want to, so that's what I'm going to do.
Didn't cost the taxpayers anything.
It didn't cost. You're right. He wasn't using taxpayer money.
Is there still a Fuddruckers, though?
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself that.
You'll notice
And
Fuddruckers is out of business. I put it all on Duke.
And he wasn't managing a $1.3 billion budget either.
Right. But do you know what I mean? Like, there's some people who are like, okay, I've got a gas card. I'm going to use it responsibly. Then there are other people who say, I got a gas card. I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah.
And technically not breaking any rules.
Right. The other thing is that, how you handle this once you've been outed, once you've been called to account is pretty important. And she, of course, blamed everybody. She blamed FOAC, called it a witch hunt. She pulled the race card. I'm being persecuted because I'm a Latina. She's on the record.
Because we don't have any Latinas in local government.
This kind of talk really upsets voters.
That is lame.
Just own up to it. You paid the city back, so obviously you're guilty, right? Just admit it and move on. Instead, she doubles down, triples down. I need 2 cars fully gassed because I have a big family. This kind of talk. Crazy.
But you said she paid it back. That's
for 2022.
Yeah, for that 1 year.
Without admitting wrongdoing.
Would you be following the story as closely if neither one of these one's a former representative, if they weren't running for some other office, would you still be on this story as tenaciously as you have been?
Oh, yeah. Look, if you follow my pages and my emails, I go after a lot of people, men, women, it doesn't matter. If they engage in any financial malfeasance, any corrupt behavior, anything that I feel the public might be interested in and the media, I'm on it. It's what I do.
I think this kind of... There's a national story that has to do with a Supreme Court justice who took all kinds of gifts, vacations, very, very expensive gifts from people. And he pointed out, and he's right, that there's nothing that says he can't do that. You're familiar with this case, right?
You're talking about Clarence Thomas.
Of course I'm talking about Clarence Thomas.
Just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I read all about that in the Wall Street Journal, and it's upsetting because you're supposed to exercise judgment.
But there is a difference between shady behavior, you might even say greedy behavior, and criminal behavior.
Well, there are statutes about conflicts of interest. There are ethical guidelines, including for members of the Supreme Court, I'm sure. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but unlike lower court justices, they're pretty unfettered, it turns out.
Well, because they're supposed to be better.
Well,
even though
is that
they're
what
unfettered.
we believe about our local city representatives? We shouldn't have to tell you, don't go crazy with these gas cards. But I guess we found out we do.
We do.
They should probably encode it.
Well, thankfully, Hernandez and Rodriguez were not appointed for life.
Right.
Right, that's another thing.
Okay, because that would be a lot of gasoline for us on the backs of the taxpayers.
Here is Eric. Eric says that he has been following this story closely. Hello, Eric.
Hello there.
Hi.
Yeah, it's really disturbing to see all this disinformation and, flying about, involving this situation. Like, if, you asked Max Grossman, right before the break, whether there was a policy on the gas card usage. And, the answer was clearly no, that there is no policy. And instead of answering that directly, he deflected to talk about, the reprimand.
Well, you're talking to Max Grossman. He's right here.
Yeah,
so
you can talk to me directly.
Yeah, you can talk directly to him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, of course. I'm familiar with your work. You're a libertarian propagandist who blindly opposes all government programs and politicians who are trying to improve our community. Libertarians are inherently irrational ideologues. They're not concerned about solving problems that the government can easily fix. And you're willing to spread whatever disinformation and lies required to sabotage government programs.
What is the lie that you're referencing specifically?
The disinformation I'm referring to right now in this specific moment is Max Grossman's bad faith deflection when you asked on whether there was a policy or not.
Max, would you agree on the air, was there any policy in place that was broken by these city reps?
I can't.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I'm asking Max.
Yeah.
Hold on, let him answer.
I cannot point to a specific ironclad policy on gas cards, but there are policies on ethics, and I did not reprimand Cassandra. A body of 9 citizens reprimanded Cassandra Hernandez. And sir, look,
another
sir,
point.
wait, let me finish. You impugned me, so let me just say this, that I exercise my First Amendment rights just like you are, okay? I'm traveling under the United States Constitution, 1791 Bill of Rights, okay? You can disagree with me. My only motive is to share what I feel just like you are, okay? So let's just say that. Go ahead.
No, you come from a libertarian perspective, and Cassandra Hernandez's policies that she fights for in the city council, she supports government spending. So anyone who supports fixing problems the city faces, you impugn and spin whatever you have to make them look bad. You're a libertarian propagandist. You're not good faith. And if we were to look at the ethics commission, for example, they did not do their jobs objectively or in good faith.
All 9 members, you're saying?
The reasons for reprimanding her were all different, none of which align with the majority of narratives being pushed by yourself and El Paso's conservatives. The person who ran that ethics commission should have recused themselves from overseeing it in the first place, because he had ran a political race against her and made really horrible public statements about her morals and way prior to this commission, and he didn't recuse himself. During the review, they refused to look at the new evidence that was found, which would have exonerated her and cleared up the reason for many of the reasons that were given for why she was reprimanded by those on the commission. And the whole process of that commission, it should concern us all. That you have this biased, broken system that's overlooking our ethics and amongst our public servants, and they can just destroy a person's reputation.
Well, maybe we need an ethics commission to watch the ethics commission.
Yeah, sir, there are several attorneys on that commission with combined more than 1 century of legal experience, including in litigation.
It's an appeal to authority. The facts are the facts.
These are people.
And I just outlined them.
Well, look, sir, in libertarianism, we don't believe in no government. In terms of the city, I just want the city to focus on police, fire, roads, the core functions of government. I don't believe that they should fund arenas, water parks, trolleys, and other things that are too expensive.
Yes, you oppose all progress.
Look, no, it's a principled point of view, and I'm not alone in my beliefs.
An immoral one.
Okay, immoral. Okay.
It's immoral to oppose the trolley car?
The libertarian ideology is based on not caring whether people live or die and blindly opposing government programs that uplift people out of poverty and save easily preventable deaths. Like if we look at UMC funding.
Okay, I feel like we're going pretty far afield here from the topic under discussion.
It's relevant. It's absolutely relevant to understand the ideological background or reasons for why Max Grossman says all of the things he says.
Max, you think the city ought to fill potholes, for instance, right?
Yeah, sir. If Cassandra Hernandez were a libertarian, I wouldn't change 1 iota of what I've stated. It makes no difference to me or anybody else. Okay.
By the way, Cassandra Hernandez will be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
and you can
talk to her as well.
I encourage Eric to call back tomorrow when Cassandra's here, because I'd like to. But I'll tell you this: I do not think that there was any criminality. I think the police, the El Paso police, came back, and I want to stress this again: no policy was broken because there was no policy regarding the use of these gas cards.
And the police cleared her of criminal wrongdoing because there was no policy. And when you look
I believe I agree with you, actually.
Well, that's controversial. The police could have turned over the dossier to the DA and chose not to do that. And the FBI went ahead and investigated. And the FBI, they can't be trifled with, right? When they investigate something, there's a reason, Okay,
and the police cleared her of wrongdoing, and they're lumping Claudia Rodriguez with Cassandra Hernandez in that. Those are two different cases, and they're being lumped in as one.
Okay, well, as I say, Ms. Hernandez will be here tomorrow, and I hope you're listening then, Eric, and I hope you call in at that point as well. Okay, thank you.
What are the chances that was Cassandra Hernandez under a different voice?
Like with...
a voice modulator.
You're ridiculous. You know that? So my prediction of this is it'll go. I don't think the U.S. attorney will take it up. I think it'll probably just be dropped, and it'll just be kind of a black mark on the records of the representatives.
Yeah, one more thing, by the way. The husband of Cassandra Hernandez, Jeremy Jordan, attempted to get the head of the Ethics Commission disbarred. Actually wrote a complaint to the Bar of New Mexico to try and get him disbarred. He's an attorney, right?
Right.
And then when that was turned down, he took another run at it, asking for a reconsideration. That was turned down. This is the kind of, Nixonian behavior that these two have sort of been engaging in since the beginning of the scandal.
I just want to say, don't be the type of person that abuses your free Fuddruckers card.
I'm with you, and you're making me think of a beefsteak, and I haven't even had breakfast yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Max, for dropping by today.
Thanks, Buzz.
Always great to see you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More of the Buzz Adams